you just get in it so we can have the truck.
I think there's two of the most emotional times in a woman's life. One is when she's getting married and one is when she's having a baby. It is so difficult to describe the intensity of her visit to our store and deciding that we're going to be the provider for her gown or for her bridesmaids. Her expectation level is so absolutely high.
I think the biggest challenge for the supply chain is the product must get there in time for that event.
Over 30% of all brides in the U.S. buy their gowns at David's Bridal. The point is, the stakes are really high in this business.
The supply chain at David's Bridal is all-encompassing. We define it as being from ideation, which means an idea in a buyer or designer's mind, to the customer. That would include product design, product development, manufacturing, moving of the product to the customer. And then we also include replenishment, planning, and inventory management.
When we were investigating a WM solution, we had about 40 stores, and we were operating the distribution center manually with 40 stores faxing the orders over, rolls and rolls of paper on the floor, and then people would literally pick up the orders and walk out to the floor and manually pick the order and ship them. Lots of problems associated with that process, obviously. So we needed a software provider that could help us keep that order together and manage it through the entire supply chain, which is something that Manhattan helped us with. The first metric we solely focused on was something we call on-time delivery. Before Manhattan, our on-time delivery was between 65 and 70% on a monthly basis. Now it hovers around 98–99% on a regular basis.
In the last year, probably one of our biggest changes has been in our increase in our make-to-order or cut-to-order items. With the addition of some of the Manhattan software, we moved to a model where we started to flow product through. We had such success that now we're able to move to more make-to-order product, which reduces our inventory investment, yet still allows us to provide that broad assortment to our customer base.
I'm very, very proud of the fact that over the last 2 years, we've been able to reduce overall cycle time between 20 and 25%. Our direct labor cost per piece in the distribution center has been reduced 20% over the last 2 years. And I think the most amazing thing for me is that despite having 2 buildings instead of 1, our total overall logistics cost is slightly lower than it was when we had 1 facility 3.5–4 years ago. The strategic vendor partnering is a critical element to our overall supply chain strategy, and a perfect example of that is a relationship that we have with Manhattan Associates. We've been extremely pleased with the quality of the teams that we've been able to assemble together to implement these applications and to really do them not only on time but without any disruption to our business, which I think is probably the single greatest achievement that we accomplished with Manhattan.
When I pick up the phone and need some help, there are people that actually know the specifics of my business, which helps tremendously.
In order for us to be able to be successful, we have to be able to provide on-time delivery and do it at the least cost. And that's what the supply chain allows us to do. We've moved from it being a cost of doing business to becoming part of the culture of the company.